This is the Dr. Berg Show. Live from the nation's capital, it's time to get healthy, lose weight, and feel great. Call now to speak with Dr. Berg at 866-561-4292. And now, Dr. Eric Berg.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Friday morning in Northern Virginia, and I'm here to take your calls. So we're live right now, so go ahead and give us a call. If you need the number, it is 866-561-4292. So give us a call. So let's just get right into it. Kim, you're from Virginia, right down the street. Go ahead, you're on the air. You had a question, I think, about the ketogenic diet causing sleep issues. Can you hear me, Kim? All right, Kim, let me just go to the next person while we're figuring that out. Alexandria, you're from Detroit. You had a question about your knee surgery? Okay, so guess what? We're going to go to a little break here and figure this out, and we'll get right back to you. Hold on one second. All right, we're back. This seems to be a routine technical difficulty session here. So, hey, Kim, can you hear me now?
I can.
Awesome. You had a question. Go ahead.
Well, I've been doing the keto and intermittent fasting diet, and it seems like I'm having problems more so with the intermittent fasting than the keto diet. And what I've noticed is that when I reduce my meals to 2 a day and I have a snack at bedtime, my thyroid and adrenals are just acting crazy. I cannot sleep. I got about 1 hour of sleep last night.
Wow.
And that's only after I ate some carbohydrates. I have dry hair, hot flashes, losing hair, constipation. All this started since I reduced my meals to 2 a day.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just talk about that, Kim. We really got two things. We got the ketogenic diet over here, and then we have intermittent fasting, which is actually not even part of the ketogenic diet. I added it in there because it will take you to the next level. So here's the thing that you want to do. When you're doing the intermittent fasting, you're enhancing the improvement of insulin. You're correcting the insulin dysfunction. You're switching your body more to fat burning than just even on the ketogenic diet. When this happens, you're going to lose a lot of electrolytes because when you are on this glucogenic diet, which is all glucose, you're going to retain a lot of fluid because the nature of how insulin retains sodium, okay? So now what happens is that you're switching over, probably dumped a lot of fluid, and you probably are now going to require way more electrolytes. So the two things that I would do right from the get-go, Kim, is I would start adding a little more sea salt to the diet and also definitely a lot more potassium. You can get it as a supplement, potassium citrate, or the electrolyte blend that I have. But the point is that you need more electrolytes or you're not going to sleep because you're going to feel kind of like you're missing something. So that's what I would do. And then also make sure don't do a carb snack. And I would, if you're doing 2 meals, you might not be ready for 2 meals. You might want to just do 3. But definitely don't eat right before bed because that's going to just create more stress on the digestive system. So that's pretty much what I would do. All right, Kim? Thanks. Hey, Alexandria, you're from Detroit. Go ahead. You're on the air.
What's up, Dr. Berg? I've been following you for a while.
Awesome.
Yes, but I have this meniscal lining tear that's gotten worse, and I bought your little device to figure out the pressure points and then do the opposite side. And then I've seen several doctors that have suggested I do arthroscopic surgery because the tearing has been so severe. And I have always feared any type of surgery. So I started researching and found out about PRP injections and tried that, but it's still, since there's such a slow amount of blood that gets to that part of the body, I found that it wasn't working, and I think I'm going to go through with it. But the big thing that really freaks me out is that they're going to take out a piece of my meniscal lining now, and I don't know what it's going to do in the future for me, since I'm 36 years old and I'm getting this now.
Okay. All right. Good question. So a couple things. Yeah. When there's an actual tear, it's really, really difficult to do anything with it other than repair the tear. If it's a very minor tear, you can do a lot, but if it's a major tear, it's an in and out surgery. They're pretty darn safe. They can do it with a minimal procedures. They can go in there like a half hour, do it, and get in and out. And high success rate, I don't think you have anything to worry about. So that's one thing. But yeah, so there's different techniques that I teach to improve knee pain unless there's a tear. Now, what you could do is after this is you can improve the damage, and that would be to build up some of the cartilage or even the meniscal tissue in there. Now, of course, when they sew things up, it's going to heal with scar tissue because of the lack of blood supply, and there might be some stiffness. However, when you get older, we lose our elasticity in our joints. We lose fluid in our joints. We lose the shock absorber in there, which is the meniscus. And so there are several things you can do. And without giving you a big, huge name, there's a thing called GAG, okay? And basically, that's a natural chemical in our body that builds up the cushion within our joints, and it helps hydrate the joints, and it also prevents the skin from being wrinkly. So it's a real good anti-aging thing. Well, guess what triggers that? This other hormone called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor number 1. And I'll actually do a video on this because I think this is important. IGF-1 is the opposing hormone to insulin. So it does the opposite of insulin. It also works with growth hormone. Growth hormone, which is the anti-aging hormone, comes from the pituitary and the liver, and then the liver makes this IGF-1. And there's several things you can do to enhance IG1 because really healthy individuals, young individuals have 100 times more IGF-1 than insulin. So as you age, you lose that hormone, and then your GAG goes down, and your joints become brittle and susceptible to injury. So here's some things that you can do right now. Get more sleep. Okay, you can enhance the sleep however way you do that. Number 2, moderate amount of high quality protein. Not a lot, just a moderate amount of protein with each meal. Number 3, making sure you have the fat-soluble vitamins. I think the best way to get that would be from either cod liver oil or egg yolks. So don't be afraid to have like grass-fed eggs and have the yolk. That's so good for vitamin A and also vitamin D and some of the other ones, vitamin K2. The other thing is a high intense exercise. Be careful of your knee. Maybe you do some type of exercise that's higher intensity, but that's not like pounding on the knee. So high intensity, short duration exercise, full body, will spike growth hormone, and especially if you actually get some sleep and even take a nap. And then you want to make sure that you handle the insulin. And that's what I talk about in all my videos is how to lower insulin, cut out the sugar, do intermittent fasting. All that is going to help your aging and also your memory and a lot of other things. So those are some quick tips. So that's what I would do. But I would go for the surgery. I think you have nothing to worry about. It's pretty safe. Hey, Lisa, you're from Florida. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi. This is, thank you for taking my call. I have an 18-year-old daughter, 19, sorry. And she belches very deep, like a man does. And that's my main concern for her. And not only that, but A little bit I get concerned about her hair because when I was young I had lost my hair, and I think due to, dieting and stress, and when you get young that happens a lot. So she's 19, she's in college. She, as I said, those are the two concerns I have. We are on the keto diet. I'm trying to get her to lose, about 30 pounds, and she has lost 8 pounds. So she's doing good in that aspect. All around healthy, but when she was around 7 years old, she did have the C. diff, and I kind of wonder if that did something to her, even though she's healthy and well now with this. So
very good question, Lisa. In fact, I'll have to do a video on burping. It's a gallbladder problem. That's what it is, the gallbladder. I had this one lady come in. She did the weight loss program down the street, okay? And she came in with her husband. Her husband is this close of divorcing her because she has excessive burping, driving him crazy for a whole year. And what I found out, this weight loss program was using this powdered protein mix only as the only food that she can eat. So it's like this chocolate mixture, which is really hard on the liver and the gallbladder. And come to find out, it was soy protein isolates. So one of the side effects is gallbladder and liver destruction. So what you want to do is you want to improve the gallbladder function. I would do maybe some gallbladder formula, make sure that she has a lot of vegetables. I have videos on how to do the gallbladder acupressure flushing. You can press on the different points. You can look that up. And then the thing that the gallbladder reacts to mostly is nuts. It irritates the gallbladder, so I would avoid that. And then support the gallbladder, and I think the burping will completely go away. She had C. diff, so basically there is a digestive issue there. And the other thing I would mention is a good probiotic. But she's definitely, this is classic gallbladder. So why don't you go ahead and fix that, and then let us know how you do. All right, so Vanessa, you're from California. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dr. Berg. Thank
Good
you
morning.
very much for taking my call. My body type's adrenal and thyroid, and I'm in about 55. And currently I have this condition, and I also like your advice of what products to take because I'm a little confused. So I'm pre-diabetic, and I do have migraines it's been 2 years now, very frequent sinuses, and currently right now I have the benign positional vertigo.
Okay.
And I catch colds easily, so would you recommend what products that you have to combat with this stuff?
Sure. Okay, good. So we're pre-diabetic, a mix between adrenal and thyroid. I'm just going to tell you very specifically, if it's a pre-diabetic, that's an insulin resistance. So the thing that'll help that the most, which is a very cool product, it's insulin and glucose support. I have 10 different anti-insulin nutrients in there that will greatly help you, mainly for weight loss, because it actually will help lower insulin. So that will help you right there. Then, of course, you hope you change your diet because as far as the sinus stuff, too, we just want to make sure that you want to be careful of the dairy because that can stir things up. Migraine is usually gallbladder, so I would do, depending on if you have, most people that have gallbladder, you have to add the betaine hydrochloride into the stomach or the apple cider vinegar. So I would do the apple cider vinegar with the gallbladder formula, both of those together. That will probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That will help the gallbladder improve the migraines. That'll help your thyroid convert T4 to T3 and help the sinuses all together because you're going to start absorbing the fat-soluble vitamins. Okay? So those are the 3 things that I would recommend. All right. So Rebecca, you're from Chicago. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dr. Berg,
morning.
and thank you. I appreciate all of your YouTube videos. I've learned tons. My question this morning is there's something going around by a company called Prove It, and there are little packages of therapeutic ketone drinks. I mean, there's a number of things in there that I'm not even sure what they are, but I just wanted to get your opinion on these drinks, if you know about them.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Yeah, there's so many people that approach me, mainly multi-level stuff. I'm just not into it. There's things that you can drink which have ketone bodies in them. and they're very expensive. Honestly, this is my own viewpoint, and I'm not saying anything bad about those companies, but if you just do the ketogenic diet, you're not going to need that to enhance your ketones. I mean, you do coconut oil. You can get MCTs, medium chain triglyceride, and have a little bit of that oil. And honestly, that's going to actually help you stimulate the ketosis very, very fast. So I think there's a lot of hype there. I don't think you're going to need it, honestly, and that's just my viewpoint. I have not done a lot of experiments on it, so I can't tell you I have a lot of experience, but so many people are succeeding without doing that. It's just unnecessary to me. Hey, listen, we have Mitali from Ohio. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Berg. Thanks for taking my call. And I really watch all your videos, and those are really very helpful. And so today, my problem is I have very bad menstruation cramps. And my period is otherwise regular, and the bleeding is in the normal range only. But I get this pain, and sometimes I vomit during those first 2 days. And I get some kind of diarrhea also sometimes, not every time, but sometimes I do get that. So I was looking for a solution for that.
How old are you?
I am 32 years old.
33? Okay. All right. The ovaries obviously are they're producing a little too much estrogen, and that's called estrogen dominance. There's two things that you can do. One, if you search my YouTube videos under menstrual cycle, I think you'll find the video that I put out there. Or no, it's actually under postpartum depression. Yeah, postpartum depression. Search out that video. I actually teach you a technique that you can do on the ovaries. It's an acupressure that will knock out the intensity from the pain from menstruation within a minute. It's quite magical. I don't think a lot of people know what's in that video, but there's a technique for any type of heavy, painful cramping, and I would watch that and apply that technique. You're going to need someone to do it on you, but it's real simple, and it's deadly effective. The other thing that I would recommend you getting is called estrogen balance with DIM, which is a concentrated cruciferous, which deals with excessive estrogen, and that's what I would also take to minimize your periods. And then the last thing is probably a good sea kelp, because that will actually lower the estrogen as well, and I think you'll be fine. Hey, Patricia, you're from the Bronx. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Berg. I love all of your videos. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, thanks.
I am another person who has issues with the gallbladder.
Okay.
I am currently under the care of a naturopath physician who has prescribed to me some Chinese formulas and also some phosphatidylcholine in order to, we think, dissolve the gallstones. But the problem that I'm still having is that I have this other distress that comes along with it that he thinks is still part of the same problem. A lot of times when it's usually related to having a bowel movement, where I will get this feeling of tingling in my mouth. I get shortness of breath and palpitations. It's been scary to the point of going to the ER like 4 times and having EKGs done. There's no problems cardiac-wise. They just say that it's gastritis. And so far, everything that I've done has not addressed those particular distressing symptoms, and it causes so much anxiety.
Okay, so let's talk about the Patricia. There are more nerve endings in your intestines than there are in your spinal column. So it's almost like a second brain. It's called the enteric nervous system, and those signals can create all sorts of weird physical things like tingling and also emotional stress and anxiety in your brain. So that's really what's happening. And the connection between the gallbladder and what you said would be you're lacking bile. When you're lacking bile, B-I-L-E, bile salts, you are going to develop gallstones. And you're not going to have the proper lubrication that helps lubricate the channels and allows the stool to go through the intestines. So you can do phosphatidylcholine, that's totally fine, but I would do the purified bile salts. I do have something called gallbladder formula that has it in there, but it also has stone root, which dissolves the gallstones, and it also has betaine hydrochloride, it has pancreatic enzymes, it has slippery elm bark. You can try that. That's kind of a comprehensive thing. And I think over time that will dissolve your stones. And also do the acupressure on the opposite side, but I think you need purified bile salts to help lubricate and prevent that backup. Okay? All right. Hey, Beth, you're from Georgia. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes. I hurt my knee a couple of months ago. It's kind of a follow-up to the fellow who called earlier. But I'm older. I'm 52, still playing sports, hurt my knee playing softball at this late date. Had played sports my whole life, and every joint in my body has probably been injured in some way. So anyway, I heard about the video about UC2 collagen, the one that about chicken soup for arthritis video. Right about the time I hurt myself and was hobbling in pain, I thought I would try this. And I figured, whether it could heal my knee that got hurt or not, I'm sure it's good for all my joints. So a couple of months went by, and I still had this clunking sound in my knee that would send me to the ground in pain. So I knew something mechanical had changed in my knee, and turns out I did need arthroscopic surgery to repair and to cut away the meniscus that got damaged, that was actually wedged between the tibia and the femur. No fun, very painful. So I'm in post-surgery now, and I wondered if I should take this directly after surgery, since my antigens need to go to the knee right now to heal. In other words, I don't think I need the decoy in the UC2 collagen to send antigens away from this injury at this moment in these next weeks after surgery. Am I correct or not? Should I take this or not post-surgery?
Good question. Let me just answer that. I don't think you have to worry about that. And what she's talking about is there's different antibodies that are going to attack, more like if there's an autoimmune situation. It won't hurt you taking that at all. So it won't actually make it worse. Number two, I don't know if you saw, Beth, my video that I have on knee pain. You should search it out, Dr. Berg. Fixing, I think I posted how to fix the left knee pain. I don't know what knee you have. But here's the thing. You want to do two things. You had surgery on the knee. You had trauma before that. So you set up a lot of different electrical patterns in your body to favor probably the opposite side when you walk. And that creates some imbalances with your left and right side, which can then create a slowing down of your healing and recovery. So what you want to do is watch this video, because I show you if whatever knee it is, let's say it's on the left side, you're going to work on the right side. You're going to massage the quad, the outside of the knee, the back part of the knee, and work on the muscles that are connected to the knee and the top part, your thigh and calf and outside of your knee as well. So if you did that, that would speed up the recovery greatly, and you'll probably feel like you never even have a problem with that. That's number one. Number two, I do have something, it's called a joint pain formula that you might benefit from greatly, because it has in there not just the typical stuff for knee pain, but it has in there adrenal extracts. So it has natural adrenal extracts to basically build up the adrenal, because adrenals all support the anti-inflammatory response. So it's going to reduce your inflammation. And it also has in there what's called TendoGuard, which actually repairs and builds tendons, which basically your knee has a lot of tendons connected to that, especially all the tendons from muscle to bone. So that's probably what I would take mostly, but I wouldn't worry about that, the chicken cartilage extract at all. I think you just want to make sure that you get the one that I recommended, because it's like raw and it works really good. So try those things, Beth, but definitely watch that video. Okay, so we have someone from North Carolina. It's I think it's called Cecilia. I couldn't see that. Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
Okay, I don't have a thyroid. A goiter totally dissolved it in my neck, and which they removed the goiter but couldn't find the thyroid. And also, I don't have a gallbladder. I am extreme obese. I'm 5'5" and 360-something pounds. And I've been that way for about 10 years. I didn't realize it until I looked up until I looked through my old journals. And then, so right now it has the doctor put me on high blood pressure pills with to pull off water with it. And that put me into the bed because it made my joints go down.
Right.
I don't have any more fluids in my joints and everything.
Right.
And so that was depressing. So I already heard about your joint pain formula from the other call. But I would like to know how I've been watching you. I've started doing some exercises from my chair, standing up more, walking more. I take Armour Thyroid, and I'm on your organic sea kelp, and I'm taking a thyroid supplement, no sugars. I've taken out the sugars.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get on to mostly vegetables and about 2 to 3 ounces of meat a day.
Great.
Good. So what else do you recommend?
All right, good point. You're doing all the right things. You don't have a gallbladder. You don't have a thyroid. You need to go back and find out where it is and get it. Have them put it back in your body. I'm just kidding. You can't. It's too late. So you're missing kind of the two key little things in there, and you're taking Armour, which is a natural thyroid, which I always like that better than Synthroid. But you know what? I'm going to answer this, and are we good? Do we have to take a break or no? Okay, so after this call. So here's what I want to recommend for you. Because you don't have a gallbladder, that means that you're going to have a hard time converting T4 to T3. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take some purified bile salts. Okay, so that's number one. And you can take in the gallbladder formula or just purified bile salts. That's going to make your thyroid work better and speed up your metabolism. The other thing that I think you're going to need is some help with your insulin because you had fluid issues. And if you can do the eating plan that I'm recommending and compound that with anything that can improve insulin, you're going to drop a lot of water weight without having to use a diuretic. Again, everything that I say, check with your doctor, okay? I'm not telling you to get off that medication directly. But the point is that you want to do that. And there's an insulin and glucose support that will help the dysfunction of insulin resistance, which I think will help you greatly with your fluids and speed things up. But the bottom line is I think you're on the right track. You just have to give it more time. You're going to have to support your gallbladder now. That's the most important thing. All right, guys, we're going to just take a real quick break, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back, guys. The little background thing knocked out. It's apparently went to sleep. So Samson, and you were watching that, and I'm like, okay, let's put back Dr. Berg. Okay, so Carla, you are in Texas, and you have a question about the impact on your cycle. Go ahead.
Well, I've been on ketosis for 3 weeks, and I started my period at April 17th, and I've been on it ever since. For the last couple of days, it hasn't been much, but I mean, I'm still having some stuff. Also, I heard another question for you, doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I had keto bread yesterday, and I was sick as a dog yesterday. And that's the first time I've had any kind of almond flour in any kind of flour in weeks. So I just kind of concerned about that too.
Okay, great. So Carla's having some problems with the period. Again, I would recommend the estrogen balance with DIM, D-I-M. That is for any type of aberration, any type of dysfunction for the ovary, and that should clean it up. And also, look on my video. I don't have this labeled correctly on YouTube, but just go search this video out. It's postpartum depression. Watch that video. I show you how to do amazing techniques for your cycle. I mean, it's literally borders on magic how fast it can just help your cycle. But now, you also had another question about, I completely forgot. I spaced out. What was the second question, Carla?
Okay. Well, yesterday I made keto bread.
Oh, keto bread.
I
Okay.
found a recipe.
I got it. Sorry. Yeah, the keto bread. Most people can handle some of this almond flour, but again, it's nuts. It's actually from nuts. So if you're doing these different keto bombs and these different alternative breads, you might react, especially with your gallbladder. So some people can do them, some people can't. I think you'll do fine on the cauliflower pita bread that we make. I just put a recipe out. It's amazing. So instead of using almond flour, you can use basically cauliflower. So watch that video. It's called Cauliflower Wraps, and you will love that. But I think you're not going to be able to do the almond flour alternatives. Okay? All right. Krista, you're from Florida. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Berg. So
Hi.
excited to be on. My best friend is 28, and she's lost 100 pounds on the ketogenic diet.
Wow.
But she gets the worst keto breath I've ever been around. Other people, me and other people, they can smell it. It's on her skin. We can't get rid of the acetone. And I hope you know what to do to get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do a video on that you gave me a great idea, because what's happening is she's breaking down fat, and the whole ketones turn into like an acetone breath. It's a kind of a fruity smell type odor. Okay, and the person usually doesn't even know what's going on. There's two things that you can do. Number one, you can increase your vegetables, okay? Increase the amount of vegetables. I mean, it better be 7 cups of vegetables per day. That's number one. Number two, you can get chlorophyll tablets or pearls that come in pearls, and you can actually consume that. That's a great purifying thing for the breath, and that seems to knock it out as well. So those are the two suggestions, but when I create the video, I'll go into more in depth. All right, that's the quick, short answer. Antoine, you're from North Carolina. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. Great. Thanks for having me. I have 2 quick questions for you. I'm 28 years old, and I got puberty. I had during puberty back when I was 14 years old. I had developed stretch marks all over my shoulders, and it's more than the usual amount that people would have. So I guess I have a weak skin or whatever. Trying to figure out how to get rid of those, and also I've been suffering from melanocytic baldness ever since I was 20 years old. I'm 28 now. So I'm trying to figure out, is there a way that I can actually grow my hair back?
Okay. Maybe, maybe not. It depends if it's genetic. If it's not genetic, here's what you can do for the hair. I would take an herb called stinging nettle root. Stinging nettle root. And if you took that, that will lower something called DHT, which is a powerful form of testosterone that's being converted and knocking out the hair. And it'll also help your prostate as well. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Not that you have a prostate problem, but that's what I would recommend for the stretch marks. The best thing for that is to start consuming more vitamin E. And guess where vitamin E comes from? It comes from the nut oils. It also comes from lettuce, believe it or not. Lettuce is a really good form of vitamin E. Just yesterday I was at Whole Foods, and I buy a lot of lettuce, and I consume a ton. And last night I came home and I had this huge, it was literally this much salad in there, So I'm getting a lot of vitamin E, and that's what I recommend for you as well. Okay, so Markel, you're from Indiana. Go ahead, you're on the air.
How you doing, Dr. Berg?
Good.
I just wanted to call, and once again, I called last week. Thank you for all the great videos. When I started the keto diet, I was 329. This is my 5th week. I'm 307. I'm down 22 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm doing the intermittent fasting, so I'm doing the 2 meals a day. It worked great for me. I don't be hungry. I don't have to snack. But sometimes after the meal, I'll have an Atkins bar or a shake, and it kind of will mess my stomach up. So should I not do the Atkins products at all?
In the Atkins, the way they overcome the carb thing is they add some other things in there that you probably are sensitive to, specifically inulin. Inulin will mess up your stomach. It's a fiber. So that's probably what you're messing up. What I would do, I know might be a pain in the butt, is I would make your own little keto bombs or little desserts. I have a ton of recipes. I just put a video out. It's called Pleasure Foods on the Ketogenic Diet. And I list all these great little things you can make. So they don't have the bad stuff in it. You make it yourself, put it in the freezer, keep it, have right after the meal. You're good to go. And of course, right now we have of course the ice cream. We have what do I have? I have the shortbread cookies. Yeah, those are in my freezer right now. And the spiced pecans. Oh my goodness. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'll rotate, I'll go to something else. Hey, Elena, you're on the air. Go ahead. You have a question about the keto diet and nursing, right?
Yeah, hi. All my family members, most of them are on the keto diet. And I can see so many changes, starting from the acid reflux to losing weight to skin and everything. But my concern is, would it affect, or how does it affect nursing, and can I do keto while nursing?
Good question. What I'm going to do, I made a little note here, Elena. I'm going to actually release a video. I have like 60 videos I have not released yet. I'm just kind of sitting there. I release them as we go here. But one of them has to do with pregnancy and also nursing. I'm going to release that probably the next couple of days. But here's the thing. What I would do if you're nursing is I would just make sure that the eating plan that you're on just has all the nutrients. That's the main thing. Coming off carbs like bread and sugar and stuff is going to be good for nursing. It's going to make your milk very high nutrient dense. So as long as you're having the vegetables, you're having the fat soluble nutrients, probably cod liver oil and trace minerals. So that baby comes out with really good dental structure, good bones, and they're not going to need braces. So those are the things that I would do. I wouldn't worry about it as long as you're having a complete nutrient profile with your foods. So yeah, you don't need to add anything like, you don't even need to add fruit if you're doing vegetables because you're going to get your nutrients from vegetables. You don't even need to add breads or potatoes. There's not any nutrient in a potato or a starch or bread that you're not getting from a vegetable. So I think you're going to be fine. Hey, Gerald, you're on the air from Ontario. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey there. I've never been able to eat fruit like my whole life. It's not an allergy. It's like the texture. Mm-hmm. Like even when I was a little kid, not even knowing the difference, I would eat the veggie and not the fruit. It's kind of weird. But anyway, so there's just no way I can hack it. Like you have the gag reflex and stuff. So seeing as I can't eat fruit, and obviously that's what they recommend online a lot, and you Google fruit supplements and it's pretty much nothing. So I was just wondering what your recommendation would be.
Okay, great. Gerald, first of all, guess what? You're in luck. I'm not even recommending fruit. So you're going to be good. Yeah, you get your vitamins and minerals and trace minerals from vegetables and fruit. So why don't you just do the vegetables? Because the fruit is a little bit higher in sugar. Now, I'm not against berries, some berries, small amount. But if you're trying to do the ketogenic diet or trying to lose weight, you don't really need the fruit to do it. You just need the vegetables. So a real good answer is basically you don't have to consume the fruit. Just do the vegetables. Okay? That was easy. I like when people give me these easy questions. So it's Rachel, Atlanta. Go ahead.
Yes.
You're on the air.
Yes. I had a hysterectomy a couple of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know why I wasn't able to lose weight. So I kind of figured out, listening to you, I figured out that I had hormone issues. That's the first time I found you. So I started taking supplements, and my question is, I just want to make sure that the supplements that I'm taking are not clashing. I just want to make sure that they're okay. I do the intermittent fasting,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also I'm just starting the keto diet with my daughter. So the supplements that I take, ashwagandha, the Pandex ginseng. I take calcium citrate with magnesium and vitamin D. That's all in one. I take the vitamin B1. I take the holy basil, and I take the ginkgo biloba, and I take vitamin B12. I take these every day.
Okay.
And my intermittent fasting is like for, I think I have like 20 hours of fasting. And when I get up in the morning, I drink like a green super drink, you know, the greens drink. And I immediately start taking these. So I want to know, am I on the right track? Do I have too much going on?
Good question. So I think you're fine with most of these supplements. The only thing that I would recommend is when you buy a B vitamin supplement, make sure it's a food-based or a natural B, because most of them are synthetic and they don't tell you that. So I would instead of doing the B1, I would just get some nutritional yeast, which is a powder form, and you can start taking that to get all your Bs, because I think what you're taking is synthetic, because that's very common. The other ones seem to like to be fine, but when you're looking at the back of the label, when you're getting supplements, always look at the source of where the supplements come from. Does it mention food? Is it coming from food, or are there just a bunch of chemicals like most of these vitamins that are 90% of all vitamins are made synthetically because they're cheap and they're not from food. So if you can't pronounce the words, we know they're synthetic. But the top vitamins on the planet that make the most money are all synthetic. And I'm not going to mention those names, but those are the ones that you'd find at GNC. So always find a whole food vitamin that comes from vegetables. But I think you're doing fine on what you're taking. All right, so Victor, you're from Los Angeles. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dr. Berg. How are you?
Good morning.
So I actually called in a few weeks ago, and I'm following a ketogenic diet and combining it with intermittent fasting. I do 16-8, so 16 hours fasting, 8 window frame where I eat, but only one meal a day.
Okay.
Not hungry in the morning. I can only eat one meal.
Okay.
Problem, or my question is, in that one meal, I can only eat so much.
Right.
So if I'm doing keto, low carb, high fat, how do I know if that one meal is providing it? Am I getting the right amount of calories in order for my body to, function properly?
Right. Good question, Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. What you want to do is not worry about the calories. You're going to worry about the nutrients in the calories, okay? I think you might have a problem doing it just from food simply because there's not enough. If you're having a hard time eating enough food, then you're probably not going to get enough food to get the nutrients in the food. So forget the calorie thing. So I probably would continue what you're doing, but I would enhance it with some type of concentrated nutrient thing. Of course, I'm going to recommend the wheatgrass juice powder because you can get in 1 teaspoon of wheatgrass juice powder, and we have it in a lemon, you get the amount of nutrition from a whole tray of wheatgrass. And you're not consuming the wheatgrass fiber. You're getting the juice inside the fiber, so it's super, super concentrated, not just with vitamins and minerals, but all the trace minerals and the other factors and the phytonutrients, and it's actually in a raw state. So you get a serious amount of nutrition from that. On top of that, I would recommend the liquid trace minerals because you can get all the trace minerals, which is hard to get from the diet. And that way, your hair, nails, skin will be fine. So the trace minerals and wheatgrass, those are the two I would recommend. But other than that, I think you're going to do fine on one meal. So just kind of watch the other indicators with your energy, your hair, nails, skin, your sleep, and just make sure all those are cool. Because if they're not, then we know you're deficient in something. But the benefit of what you're doing, I think, far outweighs any type of negative effects. Hey, Nathan, you're from Tennessee. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hey, Dr. Berg. I got a question for you about IBS and the keto diet.
Yeah.
Before I started the keto diet, IBS, it was just no schedule, anything like that, But then after I started, it's kind of strange. It's almost like a pendulum. For about 3 days, I'll be normal, and then for 3 days, It's like I had my old IBS back. And then for 3 days I'll be good, and it's been like that since the beginning. I've been on it for about 6 weeks now.
Okay.
I was wondering if you had any
Yeah.
suggestions.
Tell me this, Nathan. What are you eating now that you were not eating before?
I'm basically eating everything I was before. I'm just not eating the carbs and the sugar.
Okay. Are you eating any more additional vegetables that you normally don't eat?
Trying to do salads more often, and I eat at least one avocado a day.
Do you normally eat avocados?
No. I usually eat them about, once a month before.
Okay. The first thing I would do is the simplicity thing, the obvious thing, the simple thing is to just avoid the foods that you weren't eating before. That would be the avocado. Just kind of get that out of the diet and see if that doesn't help. The other thing is that you may not have the enzymes yet to build up to digest some of the additional vegetables that you're consuming. And that could be why you're having this irritation to the colon. That's the most likely thing because of the fiber. It's not the lack of sugar that's doing it. And then the other thing that you can do with that is basically consume maybe a little less raw but more fermented vegetables. Like, for example, the sauerkraut would be good. Pickles would be good. Do that. And then the last thing I was going to mention is do colostrum. That's in a powder. And you can take that before bed. Colostrum increases glutathione, which actually will help heal inflammation in the gut. And you start out taking just a little bit and then gradually increase it, but it's wonderful for allergies and sensitivities, inflammation in your digestive system and in your immune system. I mean, I love that stuff. So that's what I'd recommend. Hey, Lisa, you're from Detroit. Go ahead. You have a question about the adrenal.
Yes, I was wondering if you could explain to me. During the last 2 weeks of each month is my menstrual cycle. So the first week, the first 5 days, I get really tired and then cravings for salt. Then when my menstrual cycle actually is on, I get the cravings for sugar. But I get my energy back. And I'm not sure, because I'm 47, whether or not I need to be taking the Adrenal or something for estrogen as far as a supplement.
Very, very good question. So we know there's an imbalance with estrogen because it comes up and down. It can affect your blood sugars. I think personally there's two things that I would do. I would find that video that I have. It's under postpartum depression, and it shows you a technique that you can do on the ovaries. You need someone to do it on you, but that will help greatly the ovary connection. If that doesn't work at all, it doesn't produce any significant change, and you would do this right when you're experiencing those cravings, either it's going to work or it's not going to work. If it's not going to work, then you know it's the adrenal. So then you would want to support the adrenal with, it's called adrenal and cortisol relief. That's the one that you need. But if you get improvement with working on the ovaries with the acupressure, I would do the estrogen balance with DIM. And then that way you kind of know which one it is, because you're right, it could be one or the other. All right? So Victoria, you're from Boston. Go ahead, you're on the air.
I would like some direction on where to start. I saw one of your videos, and I started doing the apple cider vinegar and the lemon juice you recommended. I'm not putting the cranberry in it, though. Very quickly, I've had 16 surgeries. I have severe rheumatoid arthritis. I have trigeminal neuralgia, which I've had the brain surgery for, and I had both my hips replaced and my knee. I've had the last 5 surgeries have been within the last year and a half. My gallbladder is gone too, as well as a complete hysterectomy. I did not have a hip because I wound up with an infection.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent 12 months in a hospital bed in my living room.
Wow.
Not with no I couldn't put any pressure on it because obviously I didn't have a hip.
Well,
For 9
Victoria, because there's a lot of calls, and this sounds like you have a very in-depth case, there's a couple things I would do right off the bat to give you some relief, okay? Getting into keto is going to reduce your inflammation right off the bat. That's going to help you. But the rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune that affects all the joints, and I think I would go after that first because that's going to give you the most relief. Now, how do you improve rheumatoid arthritis? Two things. One is making sure your potassium is not the normal 4,700 milligrams every day, but 6,000, okay? I would get my trace minerals because you can get 1,000 in a scoop and do at least 3 or 4 of that on top of your meal, okay? And you spread it through the day. It's going to give you a lot of relief because you're going to get a lot of potassium, and that's going to support the rheumatoid arthritis. There's a whole bunch of data on that you can put that thing into remission or improve it greatly. Secondly, colostrum. Research colostrum. You take some high-quality colostrum in some water before bed, slug it down. That is the most wonderful thing for your immune system that I think you're suffering right now with, and it's wonderful to increase growth hormone, repair joint tissue, and that. And then the last thing I would recommend is to look up my adrenal protocols and start to learn about how to strengthen your adrenals, because you need some serious help because you had so many surgeries, so many organs out. You just probably your adrenals need some serious improvement. Okay? Thanks for calling. Okay, we're going to take a call from Singapore. They've been on the line holding for a while. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, can you hear me okay, Dr.?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. I was hoping to ask a question about a friend of mine. I suspect she started out as an ovarian type because she was holding weight predominantly in the hips and upper legs with painful and heavy periods, but over time started displaying more thyroid symptoms and, more elevated thyroid antibodies, nodules in the thyroid, cold hands, feet, which is her biggest complaint at the moment, and all the irritability and the rigid nails that go with it. So is it right for her to approach it from what we suspect the underlying reason is? So go with like estrogen dominance and, she gets on the ovary type supplement kit, including the cruciferous and the estrogen balance in there, or should she just go with the thyroid kit, which doesn't have the cruciferous, I guess?
Good question. It seems
and
like...
also,
go ahead.
Just follow up on that question. Once we make the choice, I also realized that neither the ovary nor the thyroid supplementation kits include the gallbladder support formula, but you do mention in your videos that gallbladder support will actually support all thyroid cases from the root cause in one shape or form. So just wondering on that as well.
Good question. A couple things, and it always happens where the guy with the leaf blower is right outside, and either I'm doing a seminar that happens or a webinar, and so probably, I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear that. Here's what you do. It sounds like you have autoimmune thyroid Hashimoto's because there's antibodies involved. That's usually secondary to the adrenal. I would go after the adrenal because not only would the adrenal help you with the deeper root cause, it will also back up the ovary. And then you can also go to that video, the postpartum depression video, and do the acupressure for the ovary and just focus on the adrenal. The adrenal also, in the kit, it has the gallbladder formula, so you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It will help that convert. But usually Hashimoto's is an adrenal issue. So even though she has estrogen issues, I would go after the adrenal because guess what? The adrenal makes estrogen too. And it's the backup to the ovary. So that's what I would do if I were you. Okay. Leanne, you're on the air. Go ahead. You're from Ohio.
Hi. I had just started watching you a couple weeks ago, and I've been trying to find out what's been going on with me. How come I haven't been losing weight? So I'm so happy I found your YouTube videos. But I had ordered, and I should have called you before I ordered some things, but I had a hysterectomy. I'm 52, and I had my gallbladder taken out in 97, and I had a hysterectomy 6 years ago, and I do CrossFit, and I just keep gaining weight, and I actually I did lose 4 pounds for 2 weeks ago. I started your program 2 weeks ago, but I just got some products of yours, and I don't even know if I'm really taking the right products. I got the gallbladder and the
Cruciferous.
and then I got the trace minerals,
Trace minerals.
and the K2 and
K2,
D3.
D3. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm
Okay.
Well, the right one for me or not.
Let's just talk about that. The K2 and D3 is really good for soft tissue calcium in the arteries and the circulation in the joints. That's a really good one because it's hard to get also K2. You're on the cruciferous. That's good for the liver, and that's going to also help your thyroid convert since you don't have a gallbladder. Did I say? Yeah. It's going to help your thyroid convert because you need the gallbladder to convert. You need the liver and the gallbladder to convert the thyroid hormones. So I think that's good. And the gallbladder is a necessity if you don't have a gallbladder, the gallbladder formula. So I think you're on the right track. Now, as far as the hysterectomy goes, what I would do is I don't have that video up right now, but I will create that soon so you could see what to do with that. But honestly, you just started the eating plan. I think, and you already lost weight, I think you're on the right track. I would give it more time. You're taking some seriously good stuff. I think that's going to help you. It doesn't seem like you need anything else other than what you're taking. Plus, the trace minerals are awesome because that will build up your hair, skin, and nails, which usually kind of goes down with the thyroid issue anyway. So I think you're on the right track. I just need to give you the missing piece, which is what to do after hysterectomy, and you can do that with acupressure. So just stay tuned for that video, okay? And I'll put that out. Hey, Aaron, you're on the air from Ohio.
Hi, Dr. Berg. How's it going?
Good.
I was calling because I was telling your screener that I've been on the keto. I've been following you about the same time I've been on the keto diet for going on 4 weeks now.
Okay.
Losing a lot of weight. Happy with that. Gave up alcohol. I was a heavy Budweiser drinker.
Okay.
So I put that aside, got past all that. But I'm a huge fan of Diet Cokes, Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke. I try to stick with diet caffeine-free, particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Find that harder to give up than any kind of beer or whatever, have caused me any. But my thing was I've been doing some recent research, and two things that struck me. Some people were saying or commenting that diet pop can actually throw off your keto, and I've also been a sufferer of gout for a couple decades now. Saw some comments saying that also might be a factor in gout flare-ups. What are your thoughts?
Good question. You'd be surprised, artificial sweeteners, how addictive that is. Yeah, because it does increase insulin, and insulin will create gout because it builds up uric acid crystals. So what I would do for the gout is I would do the electrolyte blend that I have because that has the potassium citrate and all the other minerals to just really take any chance of that uric acid building up and removing it. Number two, as far as the Diet Cola, I would just replace it with some of the carbonated beverages that are flavored with stevia. And they have a cola stevia that I use. It's a liquid. Put it in some carbonated water, and it tastes very similar to a diet soda. But yes, there are chemicals in there. There's aspartame. There's other things that you just need to bite the bullet and replace because that will increase insulin. It causes insulin resistance. That's your next step. In fact, if you do that, you're going to notice that your weight loss will be much better. Okay? All right, so now we have Ray. You're from Delaware. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dr. Berg. First-time caller, and I'd like to say I've been following you for about 6 months, and I really enjoy what you're doing.
Awesome.
My question is, one, usually about once a month I get a pop-up from an entity out of Baltimore, Maryland that advocates hydrogenized water. It sells filters, and those filters are supposed to increase the hydrogen level in your water. And it says that they become an antioxidant and increases your body energy and generates radiant skin and things of that nature. And my question to you, what's the validity behind this, if any, and can you elaborate on that? And I have a second question. Primarily, I've been wearing glasses since my 40s, and it's the result of probably working 90 hours a week and doing extensive legal research on computers and back and forth, and just all the toll it takes reading constantly. And And what I've noticed is that the vision starts to get worse, and now I suffer with astigmatism, which they say your eyeball is out of round. And what I'm noticing is that when you go to the optometrist, ophthalmologist, whatever, they don't tend to do anything to really alleviate the problems or fix the problems. They just prescribe stronger and stronger prescriptions. And to me, that's like basically saying you want to reduce your waistline, but rather than getting out and eating correctly, you put a girdle on. And so your waistline does appear to be decreasing, but it's only because you've got this girdle or these spandex or these some external force. So what I want to know is, one, about this new product that's allegedly hydrogenating water, and the second thing is, what do you advocate that would help people recover visual acuity?
Right. Hey, Ray, come on. It's called corrective lenses, right? It's going to correct your lenses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
So let's cover the first question. I am the guy who buys all the water machines on the planet. I have in my basement. I have a whole series of them. I have machines that will condense the water into this certain vibration that will break up this, and it can increase my longevity. And I tried everything, and it detoxed me. So just to make a long story short, I don't have enough. I'm not going to tell you yes or no. I'm just going to say the best water that you can get, and I'm just going to go down the list, okay, is hard water from a well. I was raised in Wisconsin, and man, if I could pump that water back from Wisconsin to where I live now, I would do it in a heartbeat, because that was the best water on the planet. It was drank right from the faucet. It was hard water. It was delicious. Hard water is loaded with minerals, specifically something called calcium bicarbonate, which is not carbonate, bicarbonate. So it's dissolved in the water. Great for bones, great for health. It's actually delicious. Man, I wish I could have that water. So the second thing is that you can do a mineral water. Pellegrino is the one I consume. I consume a lot of that, and I have a good filter on my in my house. But as far as these other machines, I'm not specifically aware of the one that you're talking about. I don't know. I'm not crazy about those because of the experience that I've had in the past with just feeling I would start detoxifying me. So anyway, I would just go with more of a mineral water than anything else, because that's really what you need in the water is the minerals. You don't need tap water for sure. And you definitely don't want distilled water. Distilled water pulls minerals out of your body, and that can, if you drink a lot of it, it can actually throw off your ratio of potassium and sodium and create some stress in the heart. Next question, the corrective lenses, right? I created a video on how to improve eyesight, because the accommodation reflex in the eye, and there's a couple other muscles in the eye, start atrophying if you're reading a lot like this, like I do on the computer as well. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to reverse the flow and spend at least an hour outside going for a walk, looking at things in the far distance, just to reverse the flow, to get your attention going out and your vision going out. That's really the only way you're going to do it, because your eyes are adapting to this close object, and it's atrophying the muscle, so it's becoming flabby. Just like if you did curls all day long, but you never did tricep from the back part of the arm, you would be out of balance. So that's what I would do. And but the ironic thing is glasses actually weaken the eye over time. So watch that video. I think it's called Improve Your Eyes. And I can't, just type Dr. Berg and vision or eyes, and you'll find it. I can't remember the name of it. Hey, Vincent, you're on the air from New Jersey. Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Berg. I'm a 62-year-old guy, former alcoholic. I've been following you now for about 6 months, and I got to tell you that remarkable health changes. My blood pressure is way down, well into the normal range, from a high of like 180.
Wow.
And so I've come way down. My problem is that I have very, very bad psoriasis on my legs, and I've always had it. I mean, for as long as I can remember. And I've been trying to find something that might help it. I take the VA discovered that I had a calcified heart valve, so I started taking the K2, potassium, magnesium, and I also take the oxbile as well as B6 and B12. So I wonder if there's anything you can recommend on how to get this psoriasis under control.
Well, there's a couple things that I would recommend. I would really work on your liver. Yes, so if you look up psoriasis, it'll say it's a vitamin D deficiency or a vitamin B3 or B2 deficiency. And a lot of times you take it, it doesn't work because really the problem is the intestines and the liver. So that being said, I would go after liver. There's something that I have that is very powerful for the liver, and people don't really feel immediate change on that product. Like they may, but they may not right off the bat. It's called cruciferous food because it has all the cruciferous foods, which are really good to clean the liver, so it's a slow healing process. I would do that, and then the second thing I would do, and this might sound pretty weird, but it seems to work, take a baby aspirin and crush it and put it in a little container with a little drop of lemon juice and a little bit of water into a little slurry, okay? Dissolve it real nicely into a paste and apply that to the psoriasis externally. And you're going to find that it's going to clear right up. It's a little trick. It's a little, at least to knock out the superficial part in addition to why you're cleaning up the liver. So I would do that. I think that would help you. Marissa, you are the last caller from New York. Go ahead. So you have to make sure your question is really good.
Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hi.
I love what you're doing here. Okay, so I had my gallbladder removed from a growing polyp. It was removed last month after years of stomach problems and severe indigestion, and I couldn't lose weight. They couldn't figure it out, but they found I had the polyp. So I also have been diagnosed with PCOS with insulin resistance, with like elevated cholesterol and testosterone, even with special diets and metformin. Now, since the surgery last month, I've lost 15 pounds and I feel great. My question is having the gallbladder removed help balance hormones and make the body work more efficiently? Because I've read that somewhere and I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you had some polyp in your gallbladder, so there's some type of obstruction or congestion or something going on that's out of balance. Usually those things happen from low bile salts. And so what happens is you remove the whole thing. Now you have a tube from your liver, goes right from a tube right down from your liver into the small intestine. So you're probably getting better drainage now, and you're probably getting less congestion. I think over time, though, you got to watch it because the purpose of the gallbladder is to concentrate the bile by 20 times. So now when you eat, you're not concentrating it because it just drips through as it drops. So you're going to get less bile over time. And then you got to watch your fat-soluble vitamin absorption and essential fatty acid absorption. And that can affect the skin, that can affect the vision, that can affect a lot of things for the immune system. So that's one thing I would look at. So you may want to consider doing a little bit of gallbladder formula just maybe once every day, just with your meal, after the meal, just to make sure that you have everything you need. Secondly, probably the reason why you had the problem in the first place is you had high insulin because that causes the PCOS. That's the underlying root to it. So I wouldn't worry about the PCOS. I would focus on the insulin resistance, which you're on the right program with the eating. So all you can do is enhance it. There is something that I have that I think would really help you. It's called insulin and glucose support. And there's 10 things in there that really help the problem with insulin. And right now you're taking metformin, which is probably helping you with insulin because it artificially makes the receptors more receptive. But that's actually even created from an herb called goat's rue. So I put the goat's rue in the natural remedy as one of the 10 things that help insulin. So, and there's less side effects. So that's something that I would recommend. And let us know if it works for you. Listen, I want to thank you guys for your questions. You guys were awesome. Very nice people, all of you. And I really appreciate your comments. And I will see you next Friday at the same time. So bring your questions. Thanks so much.